Yo, yo, what's going on, Whale fam? Whale fam. Wow. So much hype today. I hope everyone's doing good because this is about to be a real one. We have Alex here with us, and he's about to drop some knowledge, like knowledge. So get your questions ready. Get your questions ready because it's he's in the house. Alex, say what's up, man.
Yeah, what's up, Alikria? The Cryptolarian, like super happy to be here. Super stoked to discover the well community. Um, and yeah, if you have any questions or anything, and let's just jam social tokens, community tokens, personal tokens. I think it's a really incredible topic. And then yeah, super happy to discuss some DeFi things.
Yo, defy is no longer a buzzword. It is just the word. and, and it's cool because you've been around since the word has gotten coined, right? Um, you pretty much I see who you interact with in the space, and they're all people that are like actively building the DeFi space out, or some kind of DAO related thing or social token thing. So I'm glad that you have your finger on the button with this, man, because I'm curious. I haven't ventured too much outside of this Discord in a while, so I know it's crazy out there. I need you to tell me about it.
Yeah, it's funny because this Discord is insane. I've never seen a Discord so active. Uh, and but yeah, like I'm not just on Discord. There's countless of communities. Um, and I started getting interested in crypto in mid 2017. So just before the big bull run of ICOs and kind of scammy projects and things like this. But I knew that there was something bigger cooking up, and so I'm super excited about this. But like before 2019, mid 2019, I wasn't really involved full time in the space. And
Hmm.
then last summer, so like a year ago now, I dived deep into Ethereum applications. And so for me, there's four types of applications: DeFi, NFT, um, DAOs, and the latest one being personal tokens, community tokens, and the things that we're doing, whether it's Wealth, myself, or others. Um, and so, yeah, I can dive deeper into any of those four. But right now, it is true that we live in a DeFi, I think, incoming bull market. I don't think it's the bull market just yet, but
Okay.
it's gaining pace. It's gonna. I think every cycle is longer than the other, meaning that I think 2013, 2015 was very fast, almost pump and dump Then 2017 was like almost 6 months of bull market, and this one is going to be even longer. So it's going to be like a
My
year long,
God.
just
Listen,
creating value. And there's going to be,
too
yeah,
much hype. You're giving us too much hype right now.
too much hype.
You're telling us this is only the tip of the iceberg. Okay, but
Oh
I'm
yeah,
glad
for sure.
I'm glad you started off with who you are and how you got it started into the space. So if you can kind of give me the same background on Alex Token and how that formed for you.
Sure. So the background of the Alex token is before I even joined the space. So we're in summer 2019. I at the time moved to San Francisco for a software engineer school that I really quickly dropped out of. And the reason being, I was getting super interested in crypto. I was starting to tweet about it to meet like-minded people in crypto. And I knew that at the time I really wanted to get involved. And there was this massive conference in Berlin called Berlin Blockchain Week last year in August. And it was 5 days ahead of the schedule. And I was in San Francisco. And I was really annoyed because I really wanted to join that community. And so what I did is that I tweeted, if I had unlimited funds, I would love to make it to Berlin. And someone replied and sent me the funds straight away. So it's a
Oh,
really crazy story of like how I got into the space. And the
yeah.
reason it relates to my personal token is because that person turns out to be a 19-year-old genius that basically isn't really wealthy. He just wanted to help out. He wanted to contribute and to, make the space bigger as a whole. And it was a positive sum game because now I'm more connected and I've done some projects and I'm giving back to that community, which I can talk about later, but it's Meta Cartel. And
Yeah.
so the story is he was like, I can't really afford it. Like, can you pay me back? But if you don't want to pay me back, that's fine. We will create a token for yourself. We are going to call it AML 19, Alex Masmej Loan 2019, which was very funny at the time because it was totally not the Alex token or something, but it was just like a small token that tokenized my debt that I owed him, and people could buy it, and I would pay 10% interest rate. And so people started buying that debt token so that I didn't have to pay right now. And Peter Pan, that person who helped me, like received the money back straight away. And so it was a win-win situation, right?
That was
Um,
an interesting way to garner those, to get those funds, to gather those funds, right?
yeah,
Wow.
it's insane. I think it's part of the Ethereum community. It's a lot about paid forward, really like a gift culture where I was basically gifted to start working and to start meeting those people, and it's incredible. And I'm not the only one. There's tons of people like this. I think Camila Russo, editor at the Defiant, she received a gift of 64 Ether recently. Um, just from like someone who appreciate their work, so like she can continue on doing it, or like the Gitcoin grants thing as well. So there's a lot of grants that come out first to support the teams, and at the time there was no bull market. Like Ether was really down, it was a bear market, it was just the true believers
Yeah.
that was in the space. And so yeah, from that token onwards, Roll, the company that did I think well as well, and the Alex token, they came up to me and said, that's insane, like we are trying to convince people to tokenize themselves, and you did it yourself without anyone else telling you. So that's insane. Like, do you want to actually generalize use case of personal tokens and create just the Alex token? And I was like, heck yeah. And so yeah, I did it. I think it was in early September. So like it's been a year now that Alex token exists, and
Yeah.
but didn't get much traction before March 2020 when COVID happened. I got cut my source of income, and then I decided to do a token sale so that I can continue to live my life autonomously and not having to work a normal job. And so that sparked a lot of interest, and I kept going on and did experiments with it. And then like a whole wave happened, and Whale happened, and Whale is now I think the biggest social currency by market cap, which is insane. And so I'm super excited to speak to you guys.
Yeah. Wow. It definitely happened fast. Because March was just the other day. I had some Alex token from some previous airdrops that I think you were kind of testing with. I didn't even speak to you back then. And then I remember during NFT NYC, we had the Peepo app was happening, and you were posting a lot on there, and you posted an airdrop on there, and I was probably one of the few people, first of all, one of the few people on Peepo, and
No way, no
and
way.
and one of the only people that would knew what tri-roll was on Peepo. So like I clicked right away. I was like, yes, 500, nice.
Wait, you,
So
you went from the people? That's insane. I remember people, like I did some small work for them.
yeah, yeah.
Um, it's funny. I didn't know you were on the app. That's crazy, man.
Man, you don't even know that we were in the same room during NFT NYC. It was partly mostly because it was at the bar and everyone was a little bit busy. but
Right, right.
yeah,
Wow.
that event was so cool because it brought a lot of people, like you just said, into the space, meeting people in the space and helping each other out. It was such a good vibe, man.
Yeah, it was an awesome vibe. Like also for me, like I was doing Rocket at the time, which is like taking NFT as collateral, and it
Yes.
was really great for people from DeFi and NFT to mix up together, like we're
Hmm.
doing today with like Alex and Well. Because so for instance, like there was Brian Flynn who now did his own personal token called Jam. He was at the
Hmm.
NFT NYC event, and it's
Hmm.
great to see people who bridge those two worlds together. Because right now we see that DeFi wave being huge, but who knows? The NFT wave is probably going to come maybe 18 months from now or something. They're definitely going to have their peak. And I mean, it was the first peak, right? Like in 2017, CryptoKitties was the first so successful NFT that it broke the Ethereum blockchain almost, right?
Yes.
So, um, so super keen and excited for the NFT space, that's for sure.
Yeah. That if anything, that event kind of set uh the attitude going forward because it's been nonstop just building and growth coming out right after that, due in part to COVID and everyone being stuck in front of their keyboard. But it was just a good push for everyone to know that the work being done is valued by other real people, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, totally.
do you want to tell us a little bit about Rocket NFT? Because I love the implementations of that. People here are big NFT holders. Obviously, the Vault has more NFTs probably than
Yeah,
anyone. So yeah, you want to tell us a little bit
for
about Rocket
sure, for
NFT?
sure. Yeah, I can speak about this. So basically, I think it was 6 months ago. So at the time, Alex was created, but I was not paying attention until March, April about that token. And so at the time, I realized that DeFi is great because it's trustless. You don't have to trust anybody, any third parties. But I thought that the lack of trust was actually a little bit annoying because it meant that you had to deposit something in order to get value out of it. So over collateralized loans, meaning that it's mostly for speculators, very wealthy people, whales, not that whale, but whales as in like speculating traders, margin traders. And so I thought, like, how can we do DeFi loans? How can we make so that people actually get more money in than they put out as deposit? And I've created like a Discord community, Telegram, called the Undercollateralized DeFi Alliance, um, that got sort of the smartest people in the space to discuss this. And I've done, I think, like a quick Google form, like asking people, like, what do you have that you can put down to get a loan that's not Ether, that's not DAI, like, that's not money. We want something that you own, you want to keep, that's valuable to you, and that we can safely give you funds instead, like as a collateral. So, and I found out that actually NFTs were a really great way of, like, an alternative way of getting a loan in DeFi. And so there's multiple types of NFT that I classified. So virtual lands, open worlds, like Decentraland, Crypto Voxel, Sandbox. Then there's crypto art, but there's also domain names, game items, collectibles, and so all of those, we did some analysis and we did a Moloch DAO, which basically pulled funds together so that lenders could, you know, like do due diligence on what NFT is valuable. Once we identify a valuable NFT, we take that NFT and we give out the funds. And so since it's a DAO, like the decision is done collectively. And we've done this multiple times. And like I think on the first week, Rocket collected $50,000. It went really great. Um, and But then I decided that it was still very early for ideas such as Rocket to come along, and there was many questions about the crypto native aspect is fine, but it's mostly in games, and I'm not too much of a gamer myself, and so I thought this was not the best fit for me as a founder. And on the other end, there was the real world assets as NFT that was booming, but it was way, way, way more work and like needed to dedicate like years of my life. And so, what's funny is that so Rocket is now like I think the last loan is being repaid tomorrow, and so tomorrow I think I'm probably gonna sell Rocket to another party that's gonna be announced soon. Um, and
Okay.
so yeah, like a small exit for people to push it forward. But right now, the NFT collateral space is being done in many different ways. So you have Centrifuge, which takes real world assets, makes NFT out of it, and then let people borrow DAI or USDC with their tokenomic system. That's pretty smart. Then there is Niftex, which is super interesting because they take an NFT and they divide it into shards so that you can create a currency out of each NFT. And the latest one, of course, and the exciting one is the Whale token itself, because Whale created a vault of NFT that is now shared amongst the people, and that creates a community feel. And you guys have done it really well. You're kind of like anonymous, all of you. Like I don't really
Oh,
know who you are in real life, Olivria,
okay,
right? And
okay.
and same for Whale Shark. Like
You have to pay attention to your surroundings, bro.
yeah, that's true.
I
That's
was
true.
right there. I
Maybe
was right there.
but like this is great for starting a community because now like people really feel part of that culture and that meme of whale. And I think you've done a tremendous job.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Um, the projects springing up around NFTs kind of have that same vibe of as DeFi. Like little experiments popping up here and there, like-minded people just trying wacky things out. And so the correlations and then the marriage that can happen between both are pretty cool. I know that you mentioned NFT sharding, which is also a very recent thing. Do you have a favorite project or or something like that that NFT related that you say is your favorite project?
My favorite NFT project,
Yeah.
um, I would say, yeah, I really like Niftex, Centrifuge. These are some of my favorite ones. Then I'm quite bullish on Decentraland and crypto voxels. I
Mhm.
think once VR comes along, it will completely change the game, and these are super early. And maybe their breakout is in 10 years time or something. But the day it breaks out, it will be enormous. Um, so also bullish on Decentraland and crypto voxels and open worlds. Um, and then I don't know. I also like the crypto art. So Superware, Non-Origin. I think these platforms are really great for artists to capture more value. What else? Also, I like Meta Factory by Meta Cartel. People basically create NFT out of limited edition art, like
Okay.
jackets or track pants, and they've actually done this for DeFi memes. So like Wi-Fi, Yam, like all of these yield farming craze for people doing liquidity mining with like memes, pretty
Yeah.
much. They've done
True.
memes. They've done like track pants of like Yam or Wi-Fi, and it's just very fun.
Yeah.
I think you get some NFT out of it and things like this. So it's good fun. So yeah, I'm bullish on the space. I think yeah, I would say Niftex is probably my favorite.
Okay. Niftex has an interesting model. I think they had some changes done recently. I hope for the better, right? Meta Factory, um, they have a lot going on. I'm always a little interested in the meta tag, but there it seems like there's so many things that fall under that it's a little daunting to me to start unpacking it. So what is going on with it's Meta Factory and then is it Meta Cartel? Like is this all the same or branches?
No, so basically last year, Meta Cartel. So Meta Cartel actually started in 2018. It was just a community trying to solve meta transactions, which in layman's term mean when you send something to someone, the developer pays the gas fee so that you don't need to own ETH, and it's much easier. It's actually very useful in the NFT world. Um, and so I think that's what Dapper Labs implemented. I think they got some meta transactions for their thing. But anyway, so from that group, a kind of culture formed around people wanting to make crypto UX better. So making it easier for user and having like consumer facing applications. And this is where Metacartel started. Metacartel DAO started from that Metacartel community. And they said, we're going to pool some Ether in a shared wallet, in a DAO, in Moloch DAO. And we're
Mhm.
going to give out to team that does, consumer facing applications on Ethereum and just give out grants for like a few $1,000s. And so out of those recently came out Meta Factory, but Meta Factory is just one of the millions of pieces now that came out of the Metacatal ecosystem. And that's super impressive to me because now Metacatal is also a VC fund via DAO. Um, it's also, I think, a podcast, a media. Um, this contest. I think I did a Twitter thread recently about everything. I can't even keep up with what Metacatal is doing right now, but it's also like a token research branch. It's also a freelancer developer branch called Red Guild. Um, and like of course, Rocket is part of Metacatal as well. Like I got a grant from Rocket like a day after I announced it because they were so supportive of my endeavors in the space. And so it's just countless and countless of projects that got started by that community, which was basically people in the bear market who pooled in total, I think, 1,000 ETH just to fund grants to those teams. And so Mitsai Factory is the creators, collective brands, projects that came out of it.
So it's almost like the Ethereum foundation of the people.
Literally, this is literally exactly what it is. This
That's
is the Ethereum. foundation, but the grassroots foundation, like the misfits. Like I would never have been hired by, Consensus or like Ether Foundation or Coinbase. Like it was the weird people that wanted to push this further. Um, Little experience, like I don't really know how to code or design. I was just like starting out, really excited, and this was amazing because complete grassroots organizations, and now I think they received their first ever public investment of like $5 million from a public
Say,
American company. So
say word.
it's insane how much they've gone through since where we started like a year ago. I'm not sure if it's 5 million though, but it's a large amount, and it's insane.
That is awesome. That it's just a little indicative or kind of what we see going on with Whale and other social tokens of things springing up and people teaming up to make something happen for the better and people teaming up and stuff. You recently tweeted that running the Alex token is becoming like a small company, right?
Yep, yep.
So it's similar thing here, right? Like community members become active active almost employees of this thing that has taken on a life of its own. Is it
Yeah,
is
for
it
sure.
is it getting difficult for you, or like how many spreadsheets are you running?
Well, no, yeah, it's definitely super interesting to see token-based communities gather around a token, and it's not like right now. So Alex was like kind of like the pioneer on a kind of smaller scale, but yeah, like I guess Whale can really become that way, especially if like the community can sustain itself with always attracting new members, bringing new attention to the project, and really like fund themselves to the sky. So literally, like I think I'm super bullish on Whale, but also on an even bigger scale because right now it's like DeFi moment as we speak. Wi-Fi, the Wi-Fi token is literally making people leave their job to focus full time on this, and
Yes.
it's absolutely insane. Like we've seen Marino Conti, one of the head of Maker Foundation, Maker like smart contract engineer, like the guy who literally built DAI. Um, like knowing that he left his job and now he's super involved in the Wyern community for me is insane. It's like it's a new breed of entrepreneurs that probably wouldn't do that great in equity-based Silicon Valley, but
Hmm.
right now they are crushing it in this new decentralized layer. Like Andre Cronje from Wi-Fi, like he doesn't have a job, but he doesn't even want to start a proper company, but because he's just focusing on the code, people are now self-selecting and working on the project for token research or marketing or anything. They come to the project and then the community rewards them with a token, and it sounds like 2040. Like we're living in the future right now, and it's
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. I mean, crushing it is not the word for what is going on and happening in Wi-Fi right now.
For sure.
I don't know if we even have time to dive into
Right, yeah, it's a
to that
big
and
topic.
then what's going on Uniswap period. But what we can say is maybe if you can tell us your future outlook, like you said, we're living in 2040. So tell us what it looks like from 2040. Uh,
So
what do
I
you
think,
expect?
yeah, that's a fascinating question, and I think it's a great exercise for people in crypto to do some design fiction, which is trying to see how the future looks like and try to build and reverse engineer how to build that future. So I think in 2040, it won't just be just DeFi. Um, it will be probably most of the internet applications being powered by um, a blockchain, whether it's Ethereum or not, and it will basically incentivize early users of the app to take control of the protocol, and that's a much fairer wealth distribution than what's happening right now with Silicon Valley. And what's insane, like for instance, Uber, Airbnb, some of those companies from the gig economy tried to reward the early hosts or the early riders, but they couldn't. And it's really harsh because the founders became billionaires, but the early users got nothing. And I think it's way too early right now for those things. Maybe they will be ready in 5 years, 10 years time. But I believe in a world where the early Uber riders and the early Uber drivers um, gain some Uber shares, Uber tokens, and basically literally like are incentivized to use the app and to refer their friend. I think that would be absolutely amazing to live in that world and having the fees being shared by the community itself. Um, and so this is how I see the future. So like this is just a Uber Airbnb experiment, but what other gig economy thing powered by the community can we build that is just not possible even in the classic world? I think it's going to be fascinating. So I would say finance is just the first step. It's the obvious step because of course, like blockchain is like the internet of value, and like money and finance is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about value. But it can be much bigger than this.
Well, that's you just turned a lot of people on their head right now because nobody ever thought of an Uber kind of service like that where it's kind of happening in NFT gaming now where it's play to earn, but ride to earn, ride to earn. So that's what you're telling us right now that
I think so, but I'm not the only one who thought about this. I
no,
think,
I'm saying, but
in
after
2017, tons
yeah.
of teams wanted to do like a decentralized Uber, and people were like, "Well, that's a bit bullshit, right? Like, don't slap blockchain on every project." And there was some truth to that because it was way too early, and also because they had no clue what was going on. But little by little, we are starting to understand. Okay, like if we incentivize early users, like we are starting network effects the better way, and like we can attract the right people to make this app better and like to become stakeholders and to support, and so little by little this kind of these applications from the future, which will be much fairer for everyone, are going to come out.
Nice. I can't wait for that future. And what do you see kind of the social tokens? What is their role in this? Is the driver also going to have a thing, or um, what do you see us using social tokens, or where do you want to see it?
So I don't see social tokens being for like drivers or things like this. But I do see social tokens for creators, and by creators I mean like individuals with a community, and so that's a lot of people. That's I think so social media influencers, artists, politicians, athletes, um, music artists, a ton of people like this who have an audience, and the audience make those people literally like those people are only what their audience is. That's how they make a living through concerts or tickets or streams. And so um, the early people, the early fans that made that art, these artists are super important, and so we need to reward them properly. And that would also make artists from all around the world fairer because they can just have an internet connection and be connected to fans and have fans speculate on that artist's future. So I don't think it will be ubiquitous, and I don't think everyone will have it. I think it will be a little bit like Twitch. So not everyone is a Twitch streamer, right? But a ton of people are still in the world, and people who are creators and deliver content are. And I think this is where we're going. I think a lot of people like Twitch streamers are going to tokenize themselves, and it's going to be great. They're going to monetize more because creators are probably some of the hardest job to monetize when everything is free on Web2 and like the classic social media. And so having not only early fans but also speculators who can see that in the future that person will do great, that attracts just more money to that creator itself and make their life more sustainable. So I think it's awesome.
Dope. I'm interested to see what is going to happen when those tokens take off and people and they start doing things like what you're doing in with Whale, cross collaborating token incentives. I had to write that one down when you wrote it. I was like, oh man, this he's just creating now. He's just coining new terms now. So imagine like a basketball player now doing the same type of collaboration with F1 racer, right? Or a soccer player. Those possibilities are wild. Like, all right, so if you hold this boxer's token, and you can go to the fight, or you can go to the F1 race, right? Like
Right.
something to that effect. So when it happens to that magnitude, yes, I think you're right that it's for people that have access to these large communities, and that are being supported by the community, and in turn can give something back to them for making them this, this larger than life person.
Right, right. And also, like, I have a question for you. Like, what do you see the future of whale? Like, where is the community heading? So I think right now we do have a liquidity mining experiment that's on, and so that's incentivizing people to like speak about whale, being engaged, um, like help out because everyone is getting value from this. Like, how do you see the future of your community?
Wow, I asked the questions here.
Okay,
Nah,
that's fine.
nah, it's a great question. And I can answer it maybe from my perspective, or from where I'm more can speak more from, because the financial stuff and the tokenomics of it all, I leave that to the people that know about that. As the community lead, or I can answer, how I would like to see the community shape up and where I see it now. And I see that entertainment and content consumption is huge. It's a driving force in the whole crypto community, because memes literally drive memes are dreams in this space. And people come from wanting to see that to wanting to hear who's building things. So content is kind of king. We have a great community here. Whale Shark's trying to trip me up now. We have a great community that is super engaged and that wants to learn and listen. So I think in order to do my due diligence is to keep giving the people what they want and expand on what's working right now, and just keep teaching people, because I'm sure with what you shared right now and a few of the links that we put in the chat, just about people in the space and companies, that some people can really take a lot from that, and then we can usher in like the next wave of crypto enthusiasts, NFT creators, artists, and so on. Uh, how's that for an answer,
No, yeah, it's a great answer.
yo?
I think definitely like don't let your memes be dreams. I think
Yes.
that was
Don't
like
let
Mr. Gore on the channel. Oh my god, I stole his joke. I'm sorry, Mr. Gore, because now I just reposted it and like a bunch of people reacted. But credits to you for getting that.
wait. If it's not on the blockchain, it's not your joke, Mr. Gore. Mr.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
honestly,
Mr. Gore. Just like have some meta copyrights. Uh, I should probably pay you some royalties for that. But yeah.
Mr. Gore
Anyway,
is the resident meme
but yeah.
advisor here.
Oh, nice, nice. Chief meme officer,
Yes.
CMO. That's amazing. Yeah, I think. Yeah, no, you're right. Entertainment memes, like it what sticks the community together, and it's great to have those, like Link Marines and the others. It's a positive sum game because memes make more people discover it, and then more people use the projects or interact with it and contribute to it, and so, of course, a virtual circle, amazing.
Oh man. Yeah. So if we're gonna move a little bit away from that and ask you a little bit more Alex questions, or if someone has questions in the chat, you can drop them about, things that you think Alex might know, which are plenty, so you can't really go wrong. Whale Shark immediately says, "What's your favorite DeFi project?"
My favorite DeFi project. So I think right now the answer on everyone's mind is Wire Finance. I think
Yeah.
because for multiple reasons. The first reason is that Wire Finance is really community powered. There's no startups. There's no VCs. Just it was initially one guy, and now it's a bunch of people like investor, auditors, everyone. And I think the good thing is that so Ethereum right now is very expensive to use, right? The gas price is very high. It's very annoying. But what Wire did, and it's a genius move, is to make it so that you batch everyone's token into a contract. So that's extremely risky, by the way. So like be warned that Wire is a very risky protocol to go into. But if you have some, play money to play with, they are releasing product and extremely fast pace, and they batch everything together. So for instance, they just released YETH, I think 2 days ago. It doesn't even have like an interface. Right now it's like people interact directly on the blockchain because they are so excited about this being released.
Hmm.
And so the YETH token takes Ether, puts it in a vault, generates DAI out of it, and then like farms on like yield farming and stuff. Basically, try to make the most money as possible, and then resells it back to ETH. Um, and for me, that's very impressive because like it batches transaction, and so the gas fees is handled by the protocol itself. Um,
That was probably the most condensed explanation I heard for it, but I'm sure it still went over like everyone's, most people's heads, because
oh
it
right,
is.
sorry.
No. It's fine. It's just I'm posting the links and stuff as you talk about these things, just so people can look up what it is exactly afterwards. But it's great that you can get it in 3 sentences or less. That says a lot about you.
Yeah, and it's just one product. It was just like Wraith is just like this week, not even this week. There's tons of other things that came out this week. So this project is crazy. I think Wi-Fi is gonna go to the literally like millions of dollars, maybe. I don't know, but it's insane.
It is amazing. What's coming out of that camp, and I mean $30,000 right now is
That's still very expensive.
yes, it's wild. Someone asked, aren't you afraid someone's gonna pull a 51% attack and control your life because on that, if they own enough Alex tokens?
So first of all, you cannot really control my life. I've done an experiment like this. I think it's fun to be clickbait and to make it click on people's mind that you can do personal voting, like you can do personal token voting experiments. And so this is what I've done in July, where
Hmm.
people could like control one daily habit of mine. But that's like the maximum extent to what this is going to be. This is not indentured servitude. This is not any kind of submission on my end to the community. Like I still do whatever I want. That's actually the purpose of the Alex token, is like to make me free and to help me out in whatever I want to do in life.
Hmm.
So 51% attack will probably be extremely bad for the price because it will probably be pump and dump and zero. But to myself in particular, I'll be fine. Like there's no one who's gonna be okay. Now you're forced to work for my company for 10 years. Doesn't work like this. There's no recourse. There's nothing. So yeah.
Cool. And knowing the person that asked, I know he was just kidding about, but it was good to hear your explanation of everything behind that. So thank you, Snotty Snake. He said he's canceling his plans for the attack now, so you don't have to worry about that. Whale Shark and Mr. Gore also have another follow-up question. Will Alex holders benefit from your future business and companies? And Whale Shark also wants to know what is the future for the Alex token.
Right. So the Alex token started with a token sale of $20,000 that will give out 20% of my income dispersed to those people every quarter. And so I'm already giving some income of mine every 3 months. And I've done my first one in late July. Um, and so for those people, so it was just 30 people. It was a pretty closed sale. For those people who gave me $20,000 to help me, um, yes, they will. Then will Alex holders benefit from your future business and companies to like the Alex holders today? Yes, I think I will make sure to give some discounts or help in any way people who believed in my personal token in any startup that I do. That's for sure.
Okay. Um,
Just like we've seen with Kerman, by the way. I'm not sure if you saw, but so basically Kerman is a guy that 2 weeks after me did pretty much the same thing and raised $20,000 for like a bunch of stuff that he does, like a newsletter on DeFi and things like this. And he just released something called ARC, which can make stable coins out of like other DeFi things that are not on Compound and Maker originally. And what he did is that you earn some Kerman if you are a Kerman holders, I think you get like better rates or something like this. Like he made something for Kerman holders, his personal token, to benefit his company. So for sure, I will do the same.
Okay. Yeah, I just posted the link to Kerman because I saw a lot of news about that recently.
Yeah.
Um, and let me see. I had a follow-up question. I had a question, but I'm kind of blanking on it right now. Someone wants to know in the chat where is some safe place to put some money for a reasonable profit? I don't know. I don't know if you want to dive into financial advice, but I
Right.
mean, the short answer is that you've already given your favorite projects, right?
Yeah, I would say right now, I'm not personally doing it, and this is not investment advice, but the Wiren Wi-Fi project probably the best one. So I'm not saying invest in Wi-Fi. I'm saying if you go to Wiren, there's a vault in Wiren. So I think it's called Wiren.finance. You go there, then that you click on Vault, and on the Vault there is the where is it? Oh fuck. Oh yeah, there's the WETH Vault and the East Vault that are currently earning 90% return per year on ETH. Sorry, not on ETH, but like on the money generated, whatever. And that's insane to me because um, the Wi-Fi like YN community will integrate any new shiny project that gets high yield into this app. So it's like automated, like robo advisor for your investments. And so I think this is probably the best investment in the world for now, but it's extremely, extremely risky. So it's
Yeah.
up to you. But this is what everyone in DeFi right now is looking at.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even not even keeping up with just not keeping up with the news and what's going on, you're doing yourself a disservice. Maybe just to see what's coming in the future after this, right? Or where things are going. So definitely do some research on that. We have another question from JP Coco that says, Alex, you tokenize your personality, but in 5 or 10 years' time, if you want to move on, what are you going to do? What will become of your token?
That's a fascinating question, and I think the answer, and I've kind of thought about it, is I think maybe once the 15% of my income to the 30 people that I did 6 months ago, I would probably close it out at the end. So that means the end of my personal token will probably be in 2023. Um, and I'll probably do something like a payback, like you deposit your tokens and you get, DAI or USDC back, and like it's a thank you very much everybody, closing it down. That could be one potential exit, or the other is just like I'm leaving that token. If you want to use it for any other purpose, that's fine.
Hmm.
Or I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Um, Maybe I will get some discount for people to move to another token, maybe like another young person that I support and want to basically co-sign. Say, hey, like if you sell your Alex token for these, like I'm subsidizing whatever amount. Like I just want you guys to move on to the next opportunity, the next people that you can leverage the potential. I'd think about it. I think there's millions of ways to do it that could be beneficial for both myself and the community.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah, it's very it's a good outlook. You can you're putting it out there. You keep that option open that you can just walk away, but you'll find a way to kind of do it. You'll be the Mr. Miyagi for the next Karate Kid, and and you can watch him grow. um, Someone else had a question that says, "Are you interested in creating apps like Uber, like you mentioned earlier, or if you know of someone that's out there trying to construct these?"
I'm not aware because I think it's way too early to build a decentralized Uber because the fees are too high. Um, like it doesn't scale to millions of users. It gets way too slow. It's already very slow. So like the consumer experience is very bad. You need to install like a browser plugin or things like this. So we're far from. I think that timing is really important in the space right now. I'm not sure. Like I'm not sure what to do next. I've been tinkering the past. So like, my sale ended in April. So since April, it's been like what, 5 months. I've been tinkering with teams, and I still haven't settled down in any project or startup of mine that I want to launch. But I'm definitely thinking about it. And yeah, I will ping you more about my next thing. And I think someone just asked also about um, Wi-Fi. Sorry, no, someone asked about DeFi. I think the DeFi space right now is winning, but it was teams building in 2019 and 2018. So it's always good to see where the puck is going. And so maybe today isn't the best place to build on DeFi because it's already being played out in front of our eyes. So yeah.
Okay. Uh, that whole space is interesting, but it obviously requires a whole lot of work to implement a system like that. So I guess everyone just has to keep building as a collective, and we'll get there.
Yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
One more question from Jay Bloom. What impact has Whale had on Alex ever since the collab came up? So I think people are curious to see if these collaborations have positive impacts on both, communities, and what do you think of maybe doing more, or when people start doing more of these, what should they think of it?
I think so. I think like the value of this collab is that we are not, paying any advertisers or anything. Like we are, like we think about DeFi in terms of composability. So the fact that, Compound built on MakerDAI to create interest bearing tokens and all of these kind of things. And we are basically doing composable communities. Like we are bridging our two communities together and they get to know each other. Like we don't give out any money to advertisers or middlemen. Like it's just me and Welsh Pro who just text each other, and then we set up a group chat with you so that we sorted that out to make sure that all communities get the tokens of the other as a
Hmm.
way to make sure everyone knows each other. And now I'm getting questions and people are interested about whale and saying, oh, what is it, like what is it for? And so I guess yeah, you know, um, it's great to see the intersection of both communities and to see if there's any potential community members from one project that wants to be involved in the other one or vice versa. So I think right now it's hard because to do token stuff precisely because of the gas fees, it's just so high. Like I tried to deploy a balancer pool for Alex and it costed like over $1,000. So I was like, I might wait a bit for some new tech or for gas to go down. But um, generally, it's great. I think people are looking forward um, to both projects, and now every Alex holder is aware of the whale token. So that's great.
Yeah. I think now that the community knows uh, about you and how knowledgeable you are, they can definitely go find out more how to reach you and get further insight of what's going on. Another really good question from Whale Shark is if you could tell us about the professions that are kind of emerging around social currencies. We have people like Koopa that are doing things like social currency managing. People that kind of want to get into this space but have no idea how.
Yep.
Um, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a fascinating question because, as I said earlier, people are quitting their job to go into this new DeFi, social tokens, NFT space, and um, one of those. So, like for me and people in Metacartel, we are a bunch of misfits that wouldn't fit in normal like startup roles, and right now we are so basically Cooper is going to help me in like where to head this project. I think people are sometimes scared that I can run away with the money and this is not fully trustless like DeFi. Like I still own most of the tokens. It's not in a vault like Whale, and so people were scared about it. And so we're gonna work on making sure there's a recourse available and people can um, make sure that they are protected from the investment. And also, if people want to invest in Alex tokens OTC in larger amounts than like $1,000 because Uniswap has some slippage, then they will go through um, like Cooper that will negotiate the deals. And so that's really interesting. It's a bit like an artist manager, like a talent manager in the music industry, and this is what Cooper actually has done before. Like he's also a talent manager, like beyond just crypto. And
Yeah.
so merging those two things is basically being my manager. So he's a very good friend of mine, and I think it's a awesome collaboration. And so yeah, there's him. There's also people building applications. There's someone building the Alex website. Um, there's Austin Griffiths, very famous developer in Ethereum, who built with me a personal token voting system that was Control My Life. So there's a bunch of things really that came out, and so this is why I said that Alex started to feel like a small company, because I'm paying Alex a bunch of people.
Yeah. Uh, Funny. Now, once you brought up Austin Griffith the other day, I quickly reached out to him. I hadn't spoken to him in a bit, and he actually agreed to come on the show or come on here on the server and speak to us. So thank you for putting him on the radar again, because he has a really cool application. Apart from all the other really cool applications that he already has. And I think people here would really like to watch it. So stay tuned for that. Should be sometime next week. Um, what other cool stuff is going on with Coupa? Because it's interesting how our day-to-day lives can be implemented into crypto or into the crypto space. Everyone thinks like, oh, I'll never be able to be a talent manager in crypto, and here here it is. Those skills are being used, implemented in a different way, but. Is he? What else is? Because it seems like he's into a lot of cool stuff.
No, yeah, definitely. I think a lot of jobs that are not related to crypto about negotiating and being just very fair. I think in business today, a lot of things is shaped as zero sum, where you play politics with the organization, you try to push out some things, and it doesn't really work, and it's very expensive, especially like in finance or art and things like this. But in crypto, it's just the cost of innovating is so low that so many experiments are going to be rolled out, and um, it's going to be much fairer for everybody involved. And this is why, for instance, like right now, the Wi-Fi community is exploding because everyone's proposing stuff, and the community just like selects what will stick. And so that way, um, even if you don't know the whole business about crypto protocols, if you're a marketer, a designer, if you just know a very, very tiny segment, you can be helpful today. So that's
Hmm.
awesome.
Yeah. I encourage more people to step out of their little comfort zone and get involved. All talents are needed and welcome in the crypto space. And we need help to continue building it, and uh it's just amazing what's going to be happening really in a really short time here. And I think everyone shares that sentiment. So get involved now, yo.
Yeah, for sure.
Alex, so you have something coming up with Whale Shark also in your Telegram, right?
Yeah, yeah. So tomorrow, if you want to be part of it, um, it's tomorrow at 1 p.m. London time, I believe. So that's 2 p.m. European, like French or Spanish time. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so maybe a bit early in UK time, but sorry, in US time, I think ET is gonna be probably like 8 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, like hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. Um, I can maybe link to the Telegram group right now.
Yeah, please.
Um, okay, yeah, let me just.
Yeah, it's gonna be an AMA, right? Where your community is gonna be able to ask questions of to both of you, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Awesome.
and so you
So
need to hold at least one Alex to participate in that Telegram chat. But one Alex is very cheap. Um,
awesome.
yeah, but that's it. And if you don't have MetaMask, you can just ping me, and I'll just add you manually.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Get Let's mingle with the Alex community. Let's see what Whale Shark is gonna say about us, because we gotta keep our eye on him.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I'm sure we should definitely have you back, because things change every week here in the space. So I'm sure next week we'll have all the same questions and more. And I would love to have you back, and I'm definitely gonna check out the event tomorrow. I don't know. Do you have anything last minute pressing that just released and you want to tell us about?
No, no. Well, thank you so much for the whale community, you, whale, and everybody for inviting me. And if you have any questions, feel free to ping me on Twitter or Telegram, Alex Masmej. Um, and that's it. I think. Yeah, see you tomorrow for other people, or I'm always be hanging in Discord and Telegram. So feel free to ping me.
Cool, cool. Yeah, this is also going to be or is being recorded, so we'll get to play it back. I'll share the link with you so you can drop it to your people, your groups. All right, y'all. It's been fun. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for hanging out with us. Let us know who you want to see up next, who you want to learn from. It could be artist, creator, coder, anyone that's building, making things. We wanna talk to them, and we wanna also learn. So until the next one, we shall see you. Oh
Thank you
my
so
God,
much.
the memes.
The memes are crazy. What the hell? People are crazy.
That's a great way to end the stream was with the Alex Chica. Chica Alex. Chica Alex is
What?
on point. Look out for
This
it
is what
on
I mean.
Twitter. Look out for it on Twitter very soon. Tag
This is
Alex.
what I mean. Gosh.
Tag
This is what I
Alex. Let him know that you had a good time in the stream and that you want to see him and that you want to see him do the dance here live again soon. It's been real. It's been fun. Thank you
Wow.
so much for coming, guys. Alex, peace out, man.
Peace, peace. Wow,